There is trouble in store for Justin Trudeau. The Canadian Prime Minister could soon be facing protests. A secret report has been sent to the Trudeau government by the RCMP, that's the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. The report basically says that once the people of Canada realize how broke they are, they will start protesting. And this will not be a silent protest. The Canadian police is referring to a civil unrest, the kind that's capable of changing the status quo or a government. That's the kind of desperate future that Canada is staring at. Just have a look at what's happening in the country. The economy is in a bad shape. People are struggling to make their ends meet. Canada's job market has become tighter. As per the government data, there was a 3.6% decrease in job vacancies in the last quarter of 2023. The number of vacancies fell to 678,500. This is the sixth consecutive quarterly decline. A new Gallup poll has found that Canadians under the age of 30 are very unhappy. And among the many reasons is the lack of trust in the government. The future looks darker. Let me just read out what this police report says. I'm quoting, "The coming period of recession will accelerate the decline in living standards that the younger generations have already witnessed compared to the earlier generations. For example, many Canadians under 35 are unlikely ever to be able to buy a place to live." Buying a house is the dream of a lot of people, of a lot of families, and going forward, they may never be able to fulfill that dream. Mind you, this is for no fault of theirs. It is not because those under 30 are not making enough money or not working hard enough or not saving enough for the future. Coming in between them and their dream of owning a house is Canada's housing crisis. There aren't enough houses in the country, courtesy bad policy and bad planning. Whose bad planning, you ask? The people or the government? The latter, of course. In 1987, the federal government decided to get out of housing and leave the issue to the provinces. What followed were years of underbuilt housing. The signs have been around. Did the government decide not to see this? Or did they simply choose to ignore it? You know, a lot of people emigrate to Canada each year in pursuit of happiness, in pursuit of what they consider a good life. But today, this very same country is failing to provide something as basic as housing. So are you really surprised that the Canadian Mounted Police is warning of mayhem? The situation in Canada is so dire that the country is being forced to cap immigration, which again is bad news for the economy. The people coming into Canada contribute to the workforce, they add to the GDP. But here you have Canada, which for the first time ever is also restricting temporary foreign workers. Earlier this week, Canadian officials said Ottawa will be reducing the number of temporary residents. Who are temporary residents, you ask? Foreign workers who are in Canada on work permits. International students. Canada aims to reduce the number of temporary residents to 5% of the population. Currently, it's at 6.2%. Starting the 1st of May, Canada will be putting a restriction on the number of work permits being handed out to foreigners. Currently, 30% of a company's workforce can be made of temporary foreign workers. This will now be reduced to 20%. Healthcare and construction will remain exceptions. So that's the direction Canada is heading in. The job of this RCMP report is to highlight the trends within Canada and outside that could have a significant impact on the Canadian government. If worsening of living standards, if the inability to pursue happiness does not impact a government in a democracy, I wonder what else does. People elected Trudeau because he promised a better Canada. What he delivered is appeasement politics. A foreign policy built on conspiracy theories, polarization, an economy that's making life for the Canadians so difficult that they may soon have no choice but to protest. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the updates on the move.